Jeffrey B. Miller said in his graduation by exhibition essay, as he was promoted from 8th grade 4 years ago, he had never guessed when he received his bright red toolbox. He never guessed how full that box would be now with his tools for learning. Jeffrey loves learning. Since his ecology course when he was in 9th grade, Jeffrey has defined himself as a sustainer of the natural environment. He has participated in 2 trips to California with the Bioneers and found the meetings exciting and hopeful. His senior interdisciplinary team made a video on alternative modes of transportation that will be aired next fall on Tales of the Ox. Jeffrey's taken 2 ACS trips to Costa Rica to continue developing his fluency in Spanish and his cultural understanding. And meanwhile, he's added in the study of French by joining an intermediate level class and quickly taking part. As I said, Jeffrey loves learning. Jeffrey has developed a love of writing while at ACS. He especially enjoys freedom to respond to good questions and provocative reading, and he credits several of his teachers for coaching him to express what he thinks and feels. The ACS course that Jeffrey says affected him most of all is one taught a couple of years ago by 3 ACS senior students. It was called Connections, a course that grew from a program at Cornell, and Jeffrey says it changed his life. He has since recognized at ACS a complacency that leads to intolerance. He recognizes that everyone must be able to express views and to listen to them. He learned about the cycle of oppression, and he began to evaluate his own actions for bias. He learned to speak up against biased behavior and, as the saying goes, to become part of the solution. During this senior year, though Jeffrey missed the daily coming to ACS, he joined the Cornell agricultural program New Visions because he wants to study sustainable agriculture and learn how to spread awareness of new and old farming methods. Next year, Jeffrey will take his excitement for learning to Oberlin College, where he expects to continue his interests with some notable teachers in environmental science and join a highly reputed ultimate team. Jeffrey Beam Miller ended his graduation by exhibition essay by saying he has attended his last all-school meeting and played his last fall retreat rugby game, but he's not done with ACS. He says he will carry the ACS legacy of respect and critical thinking forever, and we know he will. Michael Anna Fender. In 6th grade, Michael Anna Fambro arrived at ACS as Mikey the Great. She signed all her papers with that name surrounded by stars. She is still great, and she is a shining star. My memory is having to push Mikey into theater performance, acting. It was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when Mikey caught on to the possibilities and excitement of stage work, especially being in the spotlight. And she has written scripts and played roles ever since. One culmination of the process was last year's performance in the ACS production of Fame in a tragic, poignant role. The other culmination, of course, is Mikey's senior project, The Dress Rehearsal, her original musical play in which she acted and which she produced. It became a family project, fully involving dad, mom, and sister, as well, of course, as many staff and students from ACS. This senior project had been in the works for well over a year, and what a stunning success it was. Her cast was large, and she feels some lives of the cast and crew were changed through their work on her show. They report a kind-hearted, generous, flexible director who is sensitive with everyone, all ages. One theme in Michael Anna's writing and conversation is her appreciation for the support she has always received from her family and from some teachers and peers at ACS. All of those people who stayed next to her and encouraged her, who knew that with her talents, she could accomplish whatever her task was. Though she calls herself at times a slacker, Mikey has discovered she is a perfectionist. She has had many successes through high school. One is conquering math and science and grasping concepts, and another is learning French. She's discovered well, the notes I received were a little Spanish. It must be Spanish. Another is learning Spanish. She has discovered photography, which has taught her patience in choosing and perfecting images. She's an incredibly original and humorous writer, and she is an accomplished playwright. With all of these successes at ACS, Michael Anna has a lot of choice about the next directions. She's thought at times that she would become an English and drama teacher, and or designer of makeup for actors, and or photographer. Mikey has said that ACS has a built-in support system, a home away from home. She has many peers and staff who care deeply for her. Yet still, the most important nesting and nurturing come from her home with her family. Next year will be college, though maybe not as far away as Arizona as originally planned, but closer to this home support. We will be following this star for a long time. Ready, Zuri?
If green means go, then red must mean Jesse next. Come on out. Jesse. Well, you've only been with us for a year. You've left a lasting impression on many. Well, this year may have gone quickly for you. Your journey to ACS has been a varied and fulfilling one, with different experiences from the Great American West to the West Hill of Ithaca. 10th grade found you floundering, as you put it, at IHS, when you up and decided to make a move and attend an experiential high school way out in Wyoming. You went from waiting at a cafeteria lunch line to being responsible for budgeting, buying, and carrying food for extended backcountry trips, which taught you various skills from hiking to rock climbing to snowboarding to whitewater kayaking. Your outdoor survival skills improved, as did your sense of fulfillment with yourself, knowing that you had the ability and the perseverance to get through challenging and demanding situations. 11th grade found you relocated again, this time to the Adirondacks, where you attended the Northwood School. And it was here that your desire to excel in academics took hold of you, and creative writing became your medium in which to express yourself. Your Northwoods teachers stated that you had set a new standard up there for creative writing, and that you had a talent for writing structured and incredibly creative essays. It was with these experiences and skills that you came to us at the beginning of this year. At ACS, you quickly became a part of the community, demonstrating your abilities in art and English and building close-knit friendships throughout the school community. Your friends and teachers use words like warm, friendly, quick to smile, good friend, tolerant, and rippin' snowboarder to describe you. While here, you rarely settled for the obvious answer and challenged yourself and those around you to explore different perspectives and points of view, While sometimes this challenge can cause a class to veer wildly off track in strange new directions, it has never failed to stimulate conversation and opinion. This search for different perspectives and new experiences will take you to foreign lands next year as you work for the Earthwatch organization working in their environmental service program. This program will have you traveling to different spots in the world, mostly humid and rainy, where you'll be utilizing your outdoor and personal skills to navigate jungles, swamps, and rivers, while fulfilling your very curious love of insects. Helping protect the Earth's natural environment is a very big job, Jesse, but I'm glad to see it's in good hands. So I'm going to thank you in advance for all the help you're about to do for us. And also, thanks for being part of ACS this year. Congrats. Put your hands together, please, for Mr. Caleb White. Caleb White has been with the ACS community for many years now, and it's a great pleasure that we stand here tonight sending you into your next adventure. Caleb came to us literally about 2 feet shorter and about 100 pounds thinner than he is today, but one thing has always remained the same, and that's that ever-present smile on his face. This smile has lit up classrooms, illuminated what would otherwise be dreary school hallways. It's cheered up friends, and made people genuinely glad to be on this receiving end. Caleb, we've all enjoyed your great sense of community and the loyalty that you've shown, and I hope that part of you never changes as the years go by. Caleb has an incredible gift of music of all types and forms, effortlessly picking up whatever instrument that's around him and making it sound great in just a few minutes' time. I also use the term instrument very loosely, as it can be a guitar, a bass, a drum kit, a desktop, a spoon, a piece of Tupperware, the top of my computer, or his own voice. But somehow they all come off sounding rich and very interesting. You dropped jaws with your Brazilian capoeira dance troupe as you spun, flipped, kicked, and balanced your body in ways that I'm confident most people at that ACS All-School meeting did not know was possible. This passion that you had for performance, music, and art has helped shape and discipline you into the very young man that you are today. Your latest passion, though, has been an extension of sound into the field of electricity and electrical engineering. Your success this year at BOCES has given you a clear career path in a field that is of genuine interest to you, and that is great. Next year, you'll be attending SUNY Mooresville. You're going to focus on electronics and electrical engineering, enabling you to one day to bring that sound and your music to people everywhere. Caleb, you've been a great friend to many here. When people are not really having the best day, you make it your personal mission to help them out any way you can. Whether it's just to listen or give advice to middle schoolers, high schoolers, or staff, it doesn't matter to you. And for this, you'll be sorely missed. Good luck next year, no matter what Morrisville throws at you. Please keep that smile on your face. Take care. Congrats.
Sarah has used her ability to make connections in many aspects during her career at ACS. Sarah's a bright and hardworking young woman who takes her academic work very seriously. She has a strong work ethic and personal commitment to excellence. Sarah has demonstrated a great ability to keep focused in her academic studies while at the same time being involved in a full dance career outside of school. Sarah's career exploration is in dance, all kinds of dance. At the Armstrong School, she studied ballet, tap, point, jazz, precision, and was in classes for over 7 hours per week. In addition, she taught classes to children ages 7 and 8 and traveled many weekends to attend workshops and compete in state and national competitions. Her teacher, Karen Dorsey, said, "She's a top student who gives 110% to every class." During her junior year, Sarah began to study photography. Her teacher, Chris Berry, said that she was a disciplined worker and quickly learned the basic skills of developing and painting. Special skills like contrast control and spotting and solarization came easily. She has a wonderful eye for form and line and texture. And Sarah continued to work on photo independently during her senior year, culminating in her senior project, which I hope you saw on display. She used her ability to make connections with people by taking a series of photographs of siblings and combining these with interviews about their relationships. Her subjects all felt comfortable with her, and she easily captured their personalities on film. Sarah spent countless hours in the darkroom, printing and correcting, a process she didn't love, but she was committed to doing in order to obtain the desired effect. For community service, Sarah volunteered all year in pre-K classes at Northeast Elementary School, and her mentor, Kelly Kraft, said, "She handles the busy, unpredictable environment with ease, and children naturally gravitate to her because of her ability to connect with them." Kelly felt that the children had a much richer experience because of Sarah's involvement, and Sarah will explore the possibility of becoming a teacher more in depth when she attends the University of Vermont in the fall. Sarah connects easily to other students at ACS. Her teachers noted that she worked extremely well with her classmates, and her sense of responsibility and positive energy made her an asset to her classes. Many times during spring trips, I had the opportunity to observe firsthand how easily she connects with young kids, acting as a mentor and a role model. Sarah also made close and meaningful connections to many of the staff here at ACS. Sarah has been a presence at ACS, and she will be missed. I wish you all the best, Sarah, as you continue your studies at UVM this fall. And don't forget to come and visit. And I'm not done. I get to talk about Brandy a lot. On her very first day at school, when I met Brandy as a 6th grader, she struck me as a very determined little girl. And as I watched her grow and mature, I feel the same way. Brandy is one of the most determined young women that I know. She shows this quality in every aspect of her life, both in and out of school. In middle school, Brandy played softball at the modified level and in summer leagues. And in high school, she went on to play JV and varsity softball. It was often the only ACS student on the team. In her senior year, she was determined to try out for varsity cheerleading. And she not only made the team, but as the only ACSer, she went on to receive the most outstanding cheerleader award. And if you were lucky enough to see her cheer, you couldn't miss her. She was the one flying through the air. As an active participant in the street law class, her teacher Karen Adams noted that Brandy went well beyond expectations for student involvement in the trial by playing 2 roles. One as a star witness for the prosecution, and the other as an attorney. She maintained her demeanor and credibility during the cross-examination, and in her role as a lawyer, she asked questions that enhanced the credibility of the witness. She was perfect. Brandy never thought of herself as a writer, that is until she took John Raymond's class. And there she determined to express herself in new ways. She discovered that she could write poetry, and she wrote with honesty and thoughtfulness. Her booklet of poems entitled Change and Its Effects contains many verses that speak to her great personal and emotional challenges. And she wrote from the heart, pushing herself through deeper and deeper levels. For her career exploration, Brandy worked at Tufts. She worked upwards of 20 hours a week doing a variety of tasks, from cashiering to taking inventory. Her determination helped her balance this with a full academic schedule, responsibilities at home, as well as her athletics. Brindy, community service was buried. She worked with kids at Enfield and at BJM, and she enjoyed making an impact on many of the young children there. She spent some time with a physical therapist and enjoyed observing how they interacted with their clients in a meaningful way. As a young child, Brindy often accompanied her twin sister Brittany to physical therapy, and these experiences allowed her to see the impact that a physical therapist can have on an individual's life. And as a result, Brindy's decided to pursue a career in the field in which she can really make a difference in a tangible way. She'll attend the University of Buffalo in the fall, majoring in exercise science. She might decide to become a physical therapist, or perhaps an athletic trainer, but either way, she's determined to make a difference. Brindy, I wish you luck as you pursue your dream, and I expect great things from you. I look forward to hearing about your experiences when you come visit.
My name is Ira Rebois, and I'm here to graduate first, Brendan Thomas. One of Brendan's favorite books, which he read this year, was a big little book called Tao of Pooh. And in this book, there is a story written by Chang Tzu, who is a Chinese Taoist writer and philosopher. And the story is about an old man who fell into a gigantic waterfall and plunged thousands of feet. Confucius just happened to be watching this, and he saw the old man and he panicked and sent his disciples to rescue the man. But the man climbed out on his own, singing to himself. When asked what secret powers he possessed to survive such an awful experience, the old man said, it wasn't an awful experience. I go down with the water and up with the water. I go down with the water and up with the water. I follow it and forget myself. I don't struggle against the water's superior power. Instead, I learn how to change and work with whatever occurs. Brandon has been with us for 3 years, and he has begun to appreciate the wisdom of the old man and how to go with the water of life. We see this most clearly with his music. Dara said that Brendan has become the complete musician. Not only can Brendan use the sticks to play the drums, he knows the theory so he can create the music, and he knows the electronics so he can enhance the sound. With music, he said he learned how to get along with others, to flow, to join in groups, and how to communicate. He played in several bands, and some of you might have heard him at the Ithaca Festival. He said he has begun to hear his own musical voice. In his senior project, he retrofitted an old guitar, demonstrating his mastery of electronics. In Facing History class, Brendan said that he learned how to examine different perspectives, and that it was okay to get into things that he loved, things that he didn't expect to love, like history. He learned how to look through other people's eyes, and he also learned how to yell like Euler Omar. Okay. Thank you. In questions class, he said he learned that thinking doesn't mean a mere presentation or researching of facts, but requires looking at things from many different levels and perspectives. Over the last 2 years, he's begun to take himself seriously as a student. The biggest thing for him was getting used to his own freedom. He struggled with this in many classes when he set records for turning things in late, but he did get it all done. That's why he's standing here with us now. ACS, he said, shows each of us that what we do with our lives is our own responsibility. And Brendan has taken hold of that responsibility, learning to integrate his different interests, like history, music, and to try to meld them together into his own individual song. He will be writing the next notes to his song in Ithaca next year as he works and goes to TC3 to get his A+ certification in repairing computers. He wants to study more history and then go on to college to study music, composition, and sound engineering. And I know that the songs that Brendan writes will be hits and will tell us all how to flow more smoothly with the waters of life. Thank you, Brendan. Next, Jackie Hardwick. The poet Rumi wrote, "The human shape made of distraction and pain and of pure light, sometimes cruel, trying wildly to open this image tightly held within itself." Jackie reminded me of this poem as she talked about her experiences at ACS. She said that the school opened her mind to so many incredible possibilities: critical thinking, friendship, leadership, patience, helping others, and in appreciating the world around her. The greatest academic class for Jackie was facing history. She said, in quotes, "The class changed the way she looked at the world. Before that," she said, she really didn't give actually I can't repeat her words, but let's say a hoot. It made her look beyond the headlines, beyond the superficial stories that other people tell, and to look at the world for what it is. She said that she would always remember what she learned from the class. It made such an impression on her that she went back in her senior year to help TA the course and to help others learn what she had learned. Chris said that she was amazing in her reliability, in calmly, clearly helping students pull together their portfolios. Other classes, she said, pulled together, built on these lessons like economics and American history. She truly loved literature. Banned books was one course that helped develop that love while teaching her about injustice, censorship, and stretching her skill at writing. She did her community service at the Reconstruction Home. At first, she did it just to get credit. And then she began to love working with the older people who lived there. She said that I don't do a lot of things that are not for me, but suddenly I found that I loved doing just that. She said one of the most important experiences for her was drama class. Before she entered this class, she had never been involved in school activities at any school. She had never been on stage, never had an involvement with a play. The first semester, she helped out with props and costumes. Then, she totally surprised me and said, "I want to direct." I was at first reluctant, but we gave her the chance, and Jackie flew with it. She said she learned about herself, how to communicate, be patient, while at the same time having a great time and creating successful performances. At the end, she showed a remarkable maturity in appreciating the trust and responsibility that she was given. Jackie said that probably no other school would have given her that opportunity. Few people ever come to appreciate what others do for them, but Jackie did. And by appreciating those who gave her that trust, she was also appreciating and opening to herself. She came out of that image held tightly within herself that Rumi mentioned and moved out into the world around her. And next year, she'll be moving on to new books, probably to major in history and minor in moving out into the world. Thank you, Jackie.
All right, thank you, Karen. I'd like to introduce you to Jay Crunkin. remarkable young man, and he's a student in every sense of the word. Academically, his work has always been outstanding. He has excelled at every challenge he undertook and was always able to go beyond what was required. Going through his family folder, it's clear to see that he has been in every corner of our school. In coursework, he took calculus, molecular bio, chemistry, Spanish, French, street law, and constitutional law. He was in maintenance committee, alternative court, curriculum, and multicultural committees. He took the Catskill backpacking, sports and more, and Spanish trips. And always taking a full course load, he still allowed himself time for outside work, community service, and drama productions. Now, Jake really found a niche with the drama, and he played key roles in Little Abner, Working, and Newsies at IHS. And he also performed in the ACS Skinny Dinner Plays and Kid Stuff at the Hangar. In addition, Jake found the ACS Radio Room an inviting place. He worked really hard with several others to re-energize ACS Radio and to help bring it back online. He interned for 2 years at WICB Radio and has become really inspired by that experience. So much so that he plans to pursue radio and TV communications after ACS. Choosing a college was a real chore for Jake because he was accepted by virtually every school he applied to. Northeastern, Emerson, Syracuse, American University, and Ithaca College. After much deliberation, he has decided on IC. He recently received the Ithaca College most prestigious Presidential Award, which is the highest merit scholarship Ithaca offers. And with all that he brings to IC, I hope you know how lucky they are. I would like for you to meet another great young man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zach Furman. Man, the greatness continues. I kid you not. Zach, and he's a real straight shooter. You always know where you stand with Zach. He's not shy about telling you. Not long ago, we were playing baseball, and I was pitching. I threw a fastball right past him. He swung and he missed. He took the bat, and he pointed at me, and he said, "I dare you to try that again." Well, like the moron I am, I tried it again. He hit that ball so hard, I don't think it's come back to earth yet. Zach is a very gifted athlete, and he understands the meaning of teamwork and team play. Zach played hockey with the IHS team, and he told me that the closeness and the bonds made playing with those fellas since the ages of 4 or 5 were as important, if not more so, than actual playing time. He said the big issues were dealt with helmets and gloves, and when the game was over, it was all left on the ice. Zach is equally excited about scuba diving. He described it as soothing and isolating. He started when he was 13 and has taken it from the recreational to the serious. He will soon be a certified instructor. Zach has a tremendous gift of focus. When there is something that has grabbed his attention, he turns inward and studies it deeply. This is typified by his senior project. He purchased an old van and turned it into something really special. He cataloged every step of the way, and you need to check out his photographs in the lobby. He stripped the interior, built frames and seats and headliners, and did upholstery and bodywork and engine work and window tinting. He installed an AC-DC converter for the fridge and the stereo system, and the end result is absolutely outstanding. Zach is more than just an athlete, carpenter, and mechanic. He is also a great student and took all the necessary courses and made time to assistant teach with Mac Knight in phys ed class and with Chris Sperry in facing history. His evaluations reflect a conscientious and consistent effort and a desire to do well at whatever he was doing. This summer, Zach is going to St. Martin's to live and work at a teen dive camp. He will be living on sailboats and catamarans and working with support boats to improve his diving skills. In September, he will be going to Mexico to study marine science through the Global Vision International Program. He will be doing coral reef investigation and research. Best of luck, Zach. Congratulations. My third and final great student is Brittany Lott. Brittany's been a great addition to ACS. She is friendly, caring, and compassionate. And just look at the smile. Brittany's a great student, and she did really well in all of her coursework. She's especially strong in math, and she told me that she felt a real growth in her focus and attitude by being more independent this year. She allowed herself to be distracted less and found it easier to apply herself to her responsibilities. I have to say this, while going through her family group folder, which is impressive with its evaluations, I found one line that struck me as most appropriate, and I quote, "Brittany, I'm glad that you are a part of this class. You bring a level-headed and thoughtful perspective." Personally, I find myself hard-pressed to say it any better than that, because Brittany is indeed level-headed and thoughtful. Britt was heavily involved in community service, and she said that she had a truly eye-opening change of perspective through her trip to the Akwesasne Freedom School. Her first-hand encounter and engagement with the Native American culture helped her to understand and sympathize with the plight of these people. And John Raymond's guidance, advice, and patience eased the way. Britt's senior project is a table representative of her personal growth. Check it out. It's awesome with its photos and images. Next year, Britt is going to the mountains of northern Georgia. When asked why, she said, "Because I can." She hopes to return in January and attend TC3 with plans of transferring to Mansfield. And Brittany told me during her senior meeting that because of her ACS experience, she has learned to be independent, courageous, and open-minded. But you know what I think? I think she helped teach us all to be more independent, courageous, and open-minded. Congratulations.
I'd like to have you listen a little bit while I tell you about a wonderful young woman named Dina LeBlanc. Dina, as she will tell you, is an independent learner and thinker. Good traits to have in an alternative school. But as Dina was quick to point out in her senior meeting last week, it's been hard for her at ACS. Not hard in the academics were overwhelming to her, and she couldn't get a grasp on the content, but hard for her in that school has a lot of requirements and structures that get in the way of her learning the way she really wants to learn. Last year, she was pretty convinced that she didn't even want to graduate from high school. But somewhere in the fall, she made a very conscious decision to finish this journey started many years ago. Dina sets high standards for herself and for others, and it's hard for her when she or anyone else falls short. She does not like to do the coursework assigned just because it was assigned with a due date attached. She needs to see the relevance of the bigger picture, and when she does, she puts a great deal of effort and energy into the work, integrity, and purpose, process, and product. It's very important to her. Dina's used to making her own way in life and takes pride in doing things in her own way and time. She's been most excited and learned the most when the task or project allowed her to choose her own topic, where she could dive into and explore what she was passionate about and what was coupled with good and flexible structure from her teacher. Her GBE essay entitled "Too Much Work, Too Little Learning," and her senior project, Reflections on School Structure, are testament to these sentiments. And respect is important to Dina. Respect for herself as a learner, respect for curriculum when it's tied to the real world, respect of teachers who meet her as a person, and respect guides her choices. She's shy and may appear aloof, but is a deep concern for humanity, in particular for those who are suffering. Her idea of a fun way to spend the weekend wouldn't be to watch a favorite TV show, but to climb aboard a bus late in the evening and travel all night to protest at the School of Americas, or to go to a rally for gay women's rights. She's a keen ally to others and expects others to stand with her. She listens intently to friends, to music, to nature. She has a deep and simple respect for the earth, for nature, and for those who help care for it. She's fascinated by the work of the Japanese farmer.
Musanabo Fukuoka.
who wrote The Natural Way of Farming and is integrating the idea of permaculture into her own life, striving to create a naturally balanced ecosystem that meets her needs while being self-sustaining. She hopes to continue living out in the country this summer, to be outside, eating healthy, getting stronger physically and emotionally, and to be a gardener of life, to disperse many seeds into the winds and see where her dreams take root. And I was going to end with a quote, but Dave already used it tonight. Great minds think alike. Okay. It comes from Margaret Mead. We saw the pictures. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Gary Burkamp. I'd like to call up Libby Newstuff. Libby is a listener and a learner, a teacher and a motivator. She's respectful of everybody from the youngest to the oldest, and is in constant awe of the lessons gained from others. She's filled with rich ideas how the world should be run. Libby is a strong believer in pursuing her own path and has no desire to abide by any process or rules. She is multi-focused, shaping the world around her to meet her diverse needs and aiming towards social justice to acknowledge the rights of all people. I have come to realize that Libby is continuously evolving. Her openness and exploration into worlds unknown are challenges off which she feeds. She is a critical thinker and excels at processes that allow her to capture learning through problem solving. She has excelled in math and science, taking AP and honors classes in physics and chemistry, as well as college calculus at CC3. During the summer, she took part in a marine biology class at Cornell's Shoals Marine Lab. Words and sentences have a powerful impact for Libby. Her love for poetry and writing has been augmented by slam performances, where she has become a finalist in adult competitions. An ability to move words at thinking speed and allow her train of thought to pull together random connections has made the act of writing as enjoyable as the act of reading. Libby doesn't only live in her mind, but uses her body powerfully as well. She's a committed rugby player. What comes with that is an attitude that one doesn't stop from pain or adversity. Working at a senior living home, being a counselor at the Cayuga Nature Center, interning at the Outing Club, teaching ESL students outdoor survival skills, Libby has worked with diverse populations. She has discovered her ability to teach others. Photography is her love and artistic outlet. This year, Libby challenged herself by designing and teaching her own experimental photography class, which allowed students to try alternate methods of working with photo equipment not readily available in our darkroom. Examples of these works and documentation of the class are on view in the lobby as part of her senior project. She's been a teaching assistant for 5 classes: Photography 1 and 2, Facing History, I Know Some Things, and Visual Sociology. In photography, her sole responsibility was teaching darkroom technical work. Out of her 15 students, 7 were accepted to the prestigious New York State Summer School of the Media Arts, in which there are only 17 openings statewide. She had attended this program after 10th grade. She's very excited about challenging the system at Stony Brook next year in biomedical engineering, taking 19 credits in a program that allows 17 maximum. Long Island and pharmaceutical companies might be hard challenges for some people to take down, but not for the likes of Libby Newstone. Libby, you've been a great mentor to middle and high schoolers alike. I don't know if we will all survive without you teaching everybody to be accepting and respectful of what others have to offer. I'd like to call up Zia Anger. Zia is someone who visualizes possibilities and works hard to make them happen. Taking on the role as artist, she pursues and embraces that position, grabs a style, molds it to her liking, and transforms it into a thing of beauty. Zia let me know loudly and clearly years ago that we would stand together today. And for you who know Zia, you know what I mean by loudly and clearly. She is one of the most vocal people in ACS, whether it is sharing about artwork, an anti-bias issue, or information debated in health class. People know when Zia is talking. She's verbal and very direct. Zia gets an idea and communicates her way through it, establishing the possibilities and creating direction that will encompass her beliefs and sing of her style. She does not let biases slide and openly shares why words or actions are hurtful or inappropriate. Zia Anger is filled with energy, speed and stamina, endurance and power. Zia plays and lives sports. She's been a 3-season athlete for years, living the life of a team player, filling her time after school and on weekends with practices and meets. Zia has played hockey in the Empire State Games, Chicago Showcase, and joined 3 different teams in state competition this year. Her involvement with cross-country in autumn, hockey in winter, track and field in spring, and somewhere in there, a stint of lacrosse, has made her learn how to manage time and set her priorities. As you just heard from her vocal performance on stage tonight, Zia isn't only a jock. She has performed with the youth group Vitamin L for 5 years, is involved in private voice lessons, and last summer was enrolled in a musical theater course at Ithaca College. Zia works hard to achieve a professional level. The arts calls to Zia. Theater has been a love of hers. Her view of form comes through black and white photography. Her passion for fine art has been driven her. Zia has lived in the art room during free periods, lunchtime, between classes, waiting for sports practices, art committees, 2 art-focused spring trips. She has graced the walls of ACS with multiple murals, contributed to ones at the Tompkins County Jail and the Children's Drop-In Center, designed numerous t-shirts, including last year's ACS t-shirt, and experimented with whatever material she could push me to find in the art room. This doesn't even begin to include her AP class at the high school. She's a writer as well. Last summer, she honed her skills with a personal essay course at Ithaca College. This summer, she plans on traveling to both coasts and in Puerto Rico. In the fall, she will bring her visual and literary skills together at Ithaca College, studying photography and cinema, making sure the world knows loudly and clearly what she is up to. Zia, I'll miss sharing our lives and tossing around new ideas with you in the art room. ACS will have a little less style and color without you.
Evening. My name is Louis Hicks, and it is my pleasure to graduate Andy Culpepper. John Steinbeck writes in Cannery Row, "It has always seemed strange to me, the things we admire in men. Kindness and generosity, openness, honesty, understanding, and feeling are the concomitants of failure in our system. Andy, you possess these admirable qualities, and consequently you identify with Steinbeck's characters who feel out of place in America. In your senior personal essay you wrote, I don't have the same interests and ambition as most people of my age, and it's frustrating to have a lot of people look down on me for that. One of your interests is community service. John writes, your mellow, sincere demeanor helps everyone feel at ease. At the same time, you do not shy away from hard work, such as the demolition for Ithaca Neighborhood Housing Service or the lifting at Loaves and Fishes. Andy, you are a musician and you love music more than anything else in life. You prefer straightforward, honest music rather than the stuff you describe as produced by today's world of lip-syncing MTV with sellout superstars. You are familiar with and influenced by down-and-out musicians from previous eras such as Django Reinhardt, Mississippi John Hurt, and Honey Ledbetter. Dara Anisi writes that your own music shows a good balance of knowledge and creativity. Your original melodies show that you have put in a great deal of energy, thought, and soul. Rebecca writes about your part in the senior team art installation. Andy composed, edited, mixed, and arranged 6 original pieces using computer software to create a professional sounding CD. The director of digital music program at Cornell was impressed with Andy's high quality work. For your senior project, you composed a piano sonata. For independent English, you created a soundtrack to go with a paper you wrote in response to Reservation Blues. But not only do you enjoy composing and playing music, you enjoy listening and writing about music as well. In a review for the Ithaca, you wrote, to listen to this musician's CD for the first time is to be transported to a strange and unpredictable world. Listeners might laugh at his high quavering voice and offbeat lyrics, or feel a slight chill as eerie acoustic guitar melodies drift through the air. To listen to it a second time is to recognize a work of sheer gentle beauty and masterful songwriting. Clearly, you are a talented writer. You have become a self-reliant learner. You amplified on this theme in your personal essay. I have learned enough that I can continue to learn on my own. For me, it is much more fun and a better way to learn by reading a book. I am very curious about and eager to teach myself how life is when one is working to support oneself. You plan to take a year off from school and then see what happens. Perhaps you'll go to school to become a music teacher even. If you can hold on to the admirable qualities of kindness and generosity, openness, honesty, understanding, and feeling expressed in your music and in your life, you will have already succeeded. Congratulations. It's my honor to graduate Lila Nasser-Fredette. Maurice Ravel, the French composer, whose Zigane Cadenza you performed earlier tonight, said, we should all remember that sensitiveness and emotion constitute the real content of a work of art. Lila, you bring not only those qualities, but enthusiasm, energy, intelligence, and curiosity to your art and to your life as well. Your violin playing is informed not only by countless hours of practice, during which you memorize pieces and hone the technical aspects of expression, but also by all the connections you have forged to your interests, your cultural heritage, your community service, and your study of French, mathematics, philosophy, and karate all influence your playing. On an evaluation you wrote, in karate, I learned about being relaxed, performing, meditating, sparring, self-defense, moving, breathing. You attained a blue belt in just a few years, but more importantly, learned that you could apply the karate stances and relaxation techniques to improve your playing while also reducing the risk of repetitive stress injury. You studied philosophy with Ira Lebois, who wrote, Lila did not turn away from difficult intellectual challenges. Her essential question was, what is the role of music in communication? She showed that music goes beyond language into the spaces that words cannot touch, certainly not words seeped in logic. You took mathematics up through calculus and saw the connections between this discipline and music theory, which you studied at college. In your senior meeting, you talked about how certain composers like Bach create their pieces as intricate and precise mathematical puzzles. In the same meeting, you discussed how important learning French has been for you. Not only will it come in handy as you perform overseas, but you see how a composer's spoken language is expressed in the phrasing of a musical composition. You hope to learn more languages so that you can deepen your understanding of the work. You wrote that community service taught me how many ways I could use my violin playing. You played at labor rallies, nursing homes, elementary schools, and science center benefits, learning professional skills and interpersonal relations. Your cultural heritage has informed your playing too. You felt honored to play for Edward Said's memorial in town, commenting, Said was someone I admired but also identified with because of the way he could never really fit into Arab or U.S. culture, and the way he was a musician and Palestinian spokesman. You played hauntingly gorgeous Israeli folk tunes, but felt conflicted about being an Arab in a klezmer band. And yet, you concluded, Jewish and Arab music are so similar and beautiful, they could coexist wonderfully. Next year, you will attend the Eastman School of Music in Rochester, where you will continue to bring sensitiveness, emotion, intellect, and curiosity to your art and to your life.